Hello everyone, I am Nu-Trix the Synth Guy. Today I'm playing around with the Peak from Novation, trying to figure out how to use the CV in for the modulation, and also how to sync it, and to use the animate buttons. All of this is pretty fun to play with. It's not so difficult to use, and I'm just going to explain how I hooked everything up, and we'll listen to what I did with it for the fun of showing off how it actually works. So, I actually use, in this case, the Novation Circuit MonoStation. I have a Korg Volca Beats, and I have the Novation Peak. Okay guys, so what do I have here? I have the Volca Beats. It's in sync by using the sync in that is connected from the clock out of the Circuit MonoStation, which is the master clock in this setup right here. The CV out aux, which is an auxiliary out that you can actually use the sequencer to send it to the aux here. Actually, you could use also the LFO or the envelope. Anything that you have here could be sent to the aux CV out. So that CV will be sent through the CV out here using the red cable, goes into the CV mod in of the Peak. And in the screen of the Novation, that's where you actually go in and do the little magic. What I did here, I went to slot number 1. I actually used a initialized sound. I went to slot number 1. I said I want to send to distortion filter. So the filter that you have at the end of the distortion here, depth 63. And the next step, I said I wanted to assign it to the breath controller pedal. So I plugged in a pedal at the back, and by using this pedal, I can actually control how much, that's the cable here, how much distortion I want to hear with this. Okay, so that's the first controller I used. Second one, I go back here, second slot, it's a filter resonance that is here. It's minus 44 depth, and the source is animate 1. So when I press here, I'm basically going to drop the resonance 44 down. So it's going to be, basically I'm just going to cut the resonance off. I'm not going to hear it anymore. If I go back here, and the third slot is the pitch for all the oscillators at the same time, and the pitch goes plus 24 when I press on animate 2. So this one changes pitch, this one drops the resonance, and the pedal controls how much distortion I want. And I also went into the ARP and I activated the arpeggiator, the key latch, and the on actually. And if I start this up, this will play the internal sequence. It will send, because I also connected the MIDI out here from the Novation MonoStation to the Peak in. So this one also sends MIDI clock. So the internal clock, it's written at 120, but that's not it. It's actually following the auto in, which is 103 BPM. You see it here. So this is following that one. And so the arpeggiator will be following this, and the notes that you'll hear will be triggered internally here and also here, because it will also play back using the MIDI notes received in here. So by pressing play now on the Novation MonoStation, what I have is a trigger, so I can play this one. This will sync. If I press play, it doesn't play. It's waiting for the sync information. This will play as internal sound. It will send the MIDI notes to this one and a MIDI clock, so this one will also play with an arpeggiator. And it will also, by the CV here, will send information CV to control. In this case, it was a sign I said to nothing. So let's send it to something. Okay. Yeah, filter cutoff point. Let's say I'm going to open up this thing to the maximum, go to the next one and say this is going to go from CV plus and minus, and I'm going to close the filter. I don't even know what it's going to sound like. So let's try this. Press play here. I'm going to bring the volume down, so we'll bring them up one at a time. Let's just hear the drum first. Okay, so I've got the drum playing. It's in sync. We see the lights coming in. We see the lights rating. If I bring the volume up here, so that's the MonoStation. Okay, let's bring in the Peak. If you want to listen to him, I'm going to bring down the MonoStation. We only hear this one. Let's bring that a little bit. So the filter opening up here, it's opening up. It's the sequence that I have here. If I can go here, you're going to see a sequence. See when the lights go up, the CV changes. Okay, so when these lights are on, the CV changes for the filter over there. Okay, and now if I play with my pedal here, now we stopped the sync between these two, but because the internal arpeggiator is on latch mode and on, it stays on. If it was not on latch, it would just stop. All right, let's try it again. It's a different way now. So play arpeggiator when the keys are kept on. That's it. So this was basically just a quick way to play with the different features that you find on the Peak. Honestly, the Peak Mod Matrix is a pretty cool piece of synthesis tool because you have 16 different slots, one destination, two sources. The combination is just mind-bogglingly fun to play with. If you like what I'm doing, thumb up. If you have any comments, put them in the comments. If you got any question, well, ask away. That's it, guys. See ya.